Don't let the force of impression carry you away. Epictetus. Every day, we lose peace not because of what happens to us, but because we try to control what never belonged to us. Traffic, weather, people's opinions, the past, the future, none of these are truly ours. And yet, we fight them, argue with them, and suffer because of them. The Stoics taught a simple but revolutionary truth. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. Epictetus began his teachings with this one principle. He said, "Within our power are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, our own actions. Not within our power are body, property, reputation, command, whatever are not our actions." He called this the dichotomy of control, the key to freedom of the mind. If you think that only what is yours is truly yours, and accept what is not as it happens, he said, no one will ever compel you, no one will ever harm you. For Epictetus, control is the gate to peace. Cross it, and you are free. Ignore it, and you are a slave to the world. Marcus Aurelius ruled one of the greatest empires in history, but even an emperor could not control everything. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Fortune changes, people disappoint, plans fail, but reason remains. External things are not the problem," he wrote. "It's your judgment about them, and that you can erase right now." This was his secret. He didn't try to bend the world, he bent himself instead. Seneca taught that life becomes lighter when we stop wishing for things to be other than they are. He said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." The Stoic doesn't seek to control fate, he seeks to cooperate with it. A wise man adapts himself to the world as water shapes itself to the vessel that contains it. When we stop fighting what we can't control, we discover calm that no storm can shake. How to practice focusing on what you can control. Step 1. Separate. Ask, is this within my control or not? If not, let it go. If yes, act with reason. Step 2. Focus on response. You cannot control the weather, but you can control your attitude. You cannot control others, but you can control how you treat them. Step 3. Accept the rest. Say, I don't control outcomes, only efforts. This is not giving up, it's choosing peace over chaos. Step 4. Practice daily. Write down one thing that upset you today. Now cross out everything in it that was beyond your control. What remains is your freedom. Epictetus said, "Don't seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and your life will flow well." The Stoics did not escape suffering, they transcended it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nothing happens to a man that he is not fitted by nature to bear." That is the essence of control, not domination, but discipline. So today, when life tests you, pause and ask, is this mine to command or mine to accept? If it is yours, act with virtue. If not, let it pass. In that quiet letting go, you will find what the Stoics found, unshakable freedom. Freedom is secured not by fulfilling desires, but by removing them. Epictetus. Every emotion, every impulse, every action begins with one simple thing, a thought. We cannot always control what appears in our minds, but we can control whether we agree with it. This is the discipline of assent, the power to choose which thoughts to accept and which to let pass. Epictetus said, "Appearances are of 4 kinds, some things are, or they appear to be." The mind constantly presents impressions, images, judgments, assumptions, but not all of them are true. When you are presented with an impression, he taught, say to it, "You are an appearance, and not at all what you appear to be." To assent is to agree, but not every impression deserves your agreement. When you pause before saying yes to a thought, you take back control of your mind. Marcus Aurelius practiced this every day. He wrote, "Your mind will take the shape of what you frequently hold in it. for the human spirit is colored by its thoughts. He believed the mind should be a fortress, open to reason, closed to corruption. When anger or fear arose, he asked, "Is this thought true? Is it useful? Is it aligned with virtue?" He reminded himself, "If it is not right, do not think it. If it is not true, do not say it." By refusing to assent to false judgments, Marcus preserved his peace amid chaos. Seneca taught that most of our suffering comes not from reality, but from assenting too quickly to false impressions. He wrote, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our opinion of them." He compared the wise man to a calm judge. He listens, examines, and only then decides. He said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay. That delay, that pause, is where wisdom begins." How to practice the discipline of assent. Step 1. Notice the thought. When emotion rises, pause and observe. Ask, "What am I thinking right now?" Step 2. Test the impression. Ask, "Is this thought true? Is it in my control? Does it help me act with virtue?" Step 3. Accept or reject. If the thought is wise, assent to it. If it is irrational or vain, let it go. Step 4. Replace with reason. Epictetus said, "When you have reason on your side, you need not fear the outcome." Each time you practice, your mind becomes more disciplined, less reactive, more rational. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." True freedom is not the absence of pain, but the ability to choose your response. Between impulse and action, between thought and assent, there lies power. The next time a thought appears, a fear, a judgment, a doubt, pause, breathe, examine it. If it fails the test of truth and virtue, let it go. Not every thought deserves to live in your mind. And when you learn to say no to the wrong thoughts, you finally say yes to peace. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. Desire can be a fire, warm and creative when guided, but destructive when left unchecked. The Stoics did not reject desire altogether, they purified it. They taught that peace comes not from having what you want, but from wanting only what you can have rightly. Epictetus said, "Freedom is achieved not by satisfying desires, but by eliminating them." When you desire something, remind yourself, you do not control whether you get it, but you do control your attitude toward it. Do not seek to have events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do. That was not resignation, it was liberation. For the Stoic, desire must be disciplined by reason and virtue. You may desire courage, wisdom, kindness, but not wealth, praise, or comfort, because those belong to fortune, not to you. Marcus Aurelius had every reason to indulge in luxury, but he refused. He wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." He lived simply, slept on a soldier's cot, and ate plain food. Not because he despised comfort, but because he didn't want to be owned by it. He reminded himself, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself. To Marcus, the greatest victory was mastery over desire. Seneca knew the danger of craving more. He said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." Wealth and power mean nothing if the soul is restless. If you wish to make Pythocles rich, Seneca wrote, do not add to his money, but subtract from his desires. To live simply is not to live poorly, it is to live freely. How to practice the discipline of desire. Step 1. Examine your wants. Write down what you want most right now. Ask, is this in my control? Step 2. Distinguish needs from attachments. Do you need it to live well, or want it to feel worthy? Step 3. Desire virtue, not fortune. Wish to be wise, patient, honest. Those are always within reach. Step 4. Practice contentment daily. When you eat, when you rest, when you breathe, say, "This is enough." Epictetus said, "He who wants nothing is invincible." The Stoic doesn't reject the world. He simply refuses to be its slave. True happiness is not found in possessing everything, but in needing very little. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you seek tranquility, do less, or do what is essential, with less distraction." Seneca said, "To be content with little is the greatest wealth of all." So the next time you feel desire rising, pause. Ask yourself, do I own this desire, or does it own me? Then choose wisely, because the mind that desires only virtue will never know poverty again. Do not wish for things to happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do. Epictetus. Every thought leads to an impulse, and every impulse asks one question: will you act with virtue or with impulse? The Stoics believed that philosophy is not meant to be spoken, it is meant to be lived. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." Epictetus taught that right action means doing what is ours to do, without hesitation or pride. He said, "Remember that you are an actor in a play, the length of which is determined by the author. Your role may be short or long. As a beggar, a ruler, a soldier, or a scholar, your task is to play it well." This is the essence of Stoic action: to do what is right, here and now, without attachment to reward or fear of failure. He also said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." The Stoic doesn't talk about goodness, he does it. Marcus Aurelius, though emperor, saw himself first as a servant, to reason, to duty, and to humanity. He wrote, "At dawn, when you awake unwillingly, have this thought ready: I am rising to do the work of a human being." Each day is a chance to act with justice, no matter how small the task. He reminded himself, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. To Marcus, duty was sacred. He didn't act for glory, but because it was the right thing to do. He said, "A man's worth is measured by the things he does for others." Seneca warned that we often mistake busyness for purpose. He wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. To act well is not to act constantly, it is to act consciously." He said, "Let all your efforts be directed toward something. Let it keep before your eyes an end to which your acts are directed." The Stoic acts not from impulse or vanity, but from clarity and service. How to practice the discipline of action. Step 1. Know your role. Each day, ask, what is mine to do today? Not what others should do, not what might happen, but what is my duty now? Step 2. Act with virtue. Act with justice, courage, temperance, and wisdom. That is the Stoic's compass. Step 3. Focus on effort, not outcome. Results are not in your control, your actions are. Marcus said, "Do what is right. The rest doesn't matter." Step 4. Serve the whole. Remember you are part of a greater order, family, society, nature. Your actions ripple through the world. Choose them carefully. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly, but by little acts brought together." Every kind word, every honest decision, every calm response is a step toward wisdom. The Stoics did not just talk about peace, they lived it, one act at a time. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Objective judgment, now at this very moment, unselfish action, willing acceptance of all external events. That is all you need." So today, act like a Stoic. Do what is right, without fear, without anger, without waiting for applause. And when the day ends, you'll know peace, because you lived with purpose. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. Life does not always obey our plans. It changes, resists, and disappoints. The Stoics called this the testing ground of will, the inner strength to endure what we cannot change. To say yes to life, even when it says no to us. The discipline of will is not about control, It is about acceptance, resilience, and faith in reason. Epictetus, born a slave, lived his life with one crippled leg, yet he taught joy and freedom. He said, "Don't seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and your life will flow well." He believed that misfortune is not punishment, it is training. What upsets people is not things themselves, but their judgments about things, he taught. So when fate turns harsh, the Stoic does not curse it, he uses it. He endures what he must, renounces what he cannot keep, and acts nobly regardless of circumstance. That is the strength of will. Marcus Aurelius faced plague, betrayal, and war, yet he wrote every night in calm reflection. He said, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything thrown into it." He turned pain into purpose. This is the heart of amor fati, love of fate. Marcus reminded himself, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. His will was unbreakable, not because he avoided hardship, but because he accepted it with reason and dignity. Seneca saw will as the strongest part of the human spirit. He wrote, "A good man is not unshaken by the storm. He becomes the storm. When fate strikes, the weak man collapses, but the Stoic stands firm, anchored in the calm center of his mind. He who yields to fate is wise. He who resists it suffers," Seneca said. To him, will was the bridge between endurance and serenity. How to practice the discipline of will. Step 1. Accept reality. When something painful happens, say, "This was destined to be." Don't fight what has already occurred. Step 2. Respond with virtue. Ask yourself, how can I meet this challenge with courage and calm? Step 3. Reframe adversity. Remember, hardship is not the enemy, it is your teacher. As Epictetus said, difficulties show a person what they are. Step 4. Maintain faith in reason. Trust that you can handle whatever life brings. Because strength is not in control, it is in endurance. The discipline of will is the Stoic's final test. When everything external is stripped away, what remains is character. Epictetus said, "You may fetter my leg, but not my will." Marcus wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." And Seneca reminded us, to bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength. So when fate strikes, stand firm. Do not curse the storm, become the calm within it. The Stoic does not ask for an easy life. He asks for the strength to live it well. That strength lies not in the body, not in wealth, but in an unbroken will. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Marcus Aurelius. Death is not the end. It is the mirror in which life becomes clear. The Stoics taught that by remembering death, we learn how to live. Memento mori. Remember that you must die, not as a curse, but as a call to awaken. Epictetus said, "Keep death and exile before your eyes every day. By doing so, you will never have a mean thought." He meant that the memory of death purifies the soul. When we remember that life is short, our anger fades, our pride softens, and our priorities become clear. Epictetus said, "I cannot escape death, but I can escape the fear of it." To live well is to prepare to die well, calmly, honestly, without regret. Marcus Aurelius wrote often about death, not with dread, but with serenity. He said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." For Marcus, memento mori was not a morbid thought, it was a compass. He reflected that the same fate awaits kings and peasants, rich and poor alike. Alexander the Great and his mule driver both died, and the same thing happened to both. Knowing this, he focused on what mattered: virtue, reason, kindness, and service. He reminded himself, don't act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Seneca believed that philosophy is learning how to die. He wrote, Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day. He advised his students to go to sleep each night as if it were their last, not in fear, but in gratitude. Seneca said, "He who has learned how to die has unlearned how to be a slave, because when you no longer fear death, no one can control you." How to practice memento mori. Step 1. Reflect each morning. Remind yourself, this day could be my last. How will I live it? Step 2. Let death clarify, not terrify. Use it to sharpen your sense of purpose. Ask, if I had one more day, what would I do? Step 3. Release the trivial. Don't waste time on anger, gossip, or greed. Life is too short to live poorly. Step 4. Be ready, always. Seneca wrote, "He who daily puts the finishing touches to his life is never short of time." Death is not the enemy, forgetfulness is. When we forget we will die, we forget to live. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live." To remember death is to remember what truly matters: virtue, love, courage, and presence. So today, look at the sky, feel the breath in your lungs, and whisper quietly, memento mori, not with sorrow, but with strength. Because the one who remembers death is the one who finally learns how to live. It is not the man who has too little who is poor, but the man who craves more. Seneca. We spend much of our lives fearing loss, the loss of people, possessions, youth, or time. But the Stoics discovered something profound. When you imagine losing what you have, you begin to love it more deeply. This is the practice of negative visualization. It turns fear into gratitude and anxiety into appreciation. Epictetus taught his students to remember the impermanence of everything. He said, "When you kiss your child, say to yourself, 'Tomorrow they may die.' This does not mean you should love them less, but more, for love that remembers mortality is pure." To Epictetus, every moment was borrowed, and gratitude was the only proper response. He reminded his followers, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but the view we take of them. By imagining their loss, we learn to see their true worth." Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. He wrote, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now, take what's left and live it properly." He didn't meditate on death or loss to feel despair. He did it to awaken urgency. When you realize how fragile life is, you stop wasting it. He said, "Soon you will have forgotten everything, and everyone will have forgotten you." This is not a reason for sadness, but a call to presence, to cherish this brief spark called life. Seneca wrote to his friend Lucilius, "Rehearse death in your mind every day, for by doing so, you will learn to despise fear." He believed that by imagining disaster, we remove its power to surprise us. He said, "He robs present ills of their power who has already conquered their coming in his mind." The wise man suffers less because he is ready for everything. This practice does not make you pessimistic, it makes you unbreakable. How to practice negative visualization. Step 1. Choose something you value. It could be a person, a place, a possession, or even your health. Now imagine losing it. Step 2. Let the feeling arise. Feel the sadness, the emptiness, then return to the present moment. Step 3. Appreciate what remains. Realize how lucky you are that you still have it here and now. Step 4. Prepare for impermanence. Say quietly to yourself, "This too will pass," not with despair, but with wisdom. Everything you love is temporary, and that is what makes it beautiful. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." Epictetus taught, "When something is taken from you, give thanks for the time you had to enjoy it." And Seneca reminded us, "He lives badly who does not know how to die well." So today, close your eyes for a moment. Imagine losing what you hold dear, and then open your eyes again. you'll find that the world hasn't changed, but you have. You'll see everything, every sound, every touch, every breath, as a precious gift that will not last forever. And because it will not last forever, you will love it as if it were eternal. Memento mori, practice negative visualization, and live gratefully.